I'll get us started and take any questions you have. Good to get back on the grass today and practice. We got to build on what we've done, Monday night, and now we kind of turn the page, and that's what it's all about in this league, is being able to stack games and stack performances and be able to gain momentum from Monday, but also understand that, hey, we got to move forward and we got to build on that. And now the focus turns to the next opponent and next opportunity. So that's what today was about, getting out there on practice and being sharp. And we'll keep stacking days. Take any questions you have.
Kurt, how do you feel the preparation is going for this game against the Chiefs and the upfront problems that they present?
Yeah, it's off to a good start. They got some great players up front, certainly headlined by Chris Jones, and got to know where he is. So you keep waiting for really good players to, as they get older, to fall off, and you kind of cross your fingers. Maybe this guy will fall off. Maybe this guy will fall. Maybe this is the year where he, but that's not the case with Chris Jones. He's still at the peak. So be a good challenge, good opportunity for us.
With some time or a little bit of time to reflect, what were some of the keys that allowed the offense to progress from game one to game two?
I think that it's something that is inherent to, the more you're together, you're going to improve, you're going to get better. And I felt like that happened. What we learned a lot about ourselves in week one, and we were able to, take that and apply it to week two. But we'll be doing the same from week 2 to week 3 and week 3 to week 4. And I think as this year goes, we're going to just keep building a rapport, coaches to players, players to players, coaches to coaches. I completed a pass to Drake that was not a good throw. I think it was early in the game. It was a low ball. Should have been a better throw. He could have run through it and had a bigger gain. And he went down and got it, made a great catch. And I went up to him right after the play, and I said, "Terrible throw, Drake. What a great catch. Good job, bailing me out." And his answer back was, "Kirk, we're just building this." Basically like, hey, that's going to happen, and we're building this, and we're just getting started. And so, I thought that was a good perspective to have, and obviously, a great attitude, positive attitude. Because I've had some receivers who would mean mug me a little bit and be like, "Hey, get the ball up." I could have run another 30 yards. So, being a great teammate, but also taking that perspective of, hey, week 1 to 2 we're getting better, week 2 to 3 we'll get better, and we'll just keep building it. And I think that's the right perspective to have.
And I'm sorry about this, but my boss wants to know your thoughts on the possibility that Taylor Swift may attend the game.
So everybody has a boss, so we all got to obey our boss. So I totally understand where you're coming from. I don't know what she's going to do. I know she owns a couple private jets, and that is very convenient for getting to things, I've learned. So if she wants to be here, I'm sure she has the logistical means to make that happen.
Kirk, you were just talking about Drake. Zach was in here saying that some of the plays that he was making down the field and blocking, almost like he's a tight end.
Yes.
Have a guy like Drake, who top 10 picks, star player.
Yeah.
To be able to do that, what does that say for the team as far as being a team player?
Yeah, he takes pride in the run game, and I think it says a lot about him as a team player. I think he acknowledges what he can do to contribute. Coach Ledford, our O-line coach, gave him the award this week for a belt. Yeah, I think with your wrestling background, you have an appreciation for that, as Coach Ledford does. I'm not quite as big of a belt guy. I'm not going to tell Coach Ledford that, but he told me I have a chance to win it if my bootleg fakes are good enough. That maybe someday I'll have a chance to win the belt. I think he was just kind of gassing me up, more posturing than reality, but. Drake is doing a phenomenal job in the run game. Not many receivers take the level of pride in it that he does, and it will make a difference for our football team and will help us win games.
Kirk, since you've been in the league, there's been this evolution at the quarterback position. Guys come out of college are dual threat guys.
Yes.
Design runs or even just scrambling. It's just interesting, your perspective, somebody who's had a good career.
Yes.
Passing out of the pocket. What do you think about that?
So I had it's a great question. I've asked it of myself many times. A quarterback coach in 2015, Matt Cavanaugh, who had played with Joe Montana. He played 14 years in the league, won 3 Super Bowls with different teams as a coach and a player. And I saw that happening. Hey, more and more guys are really athletic. Do I need to become a runner to keep my job, if you will? And he said, Kirk, it doesn't matter if you can't throw with accuracy from the pocket. Everything else is just isn't worth it. and especially when you get to crunch time in the playoffs. And so I always took that as I would love to be 6'6". I would love to run, through people. I would love to jump over people. But at the end of the day, those guys who have those traits have to be able to throw accurately from the pocket to truly win in the big games. And I think that's what a lot of them are doing. The ones that are successful. Yes, the dual threat abilities get attention, but it's really the traditional accuracy from the pocket that ultimately is what makes the quarterback successful, is what he told me in 2015. And I've kind of always tucked that away and tried to see if he was right. And over the last 9 years, I would say he was right. And that does seem to be a consistent theme. Is that the dual threat guys who can still throw with accuracy from the pocket are the ones who really make it long term.
Speaking of the pocket, I want to ask something that Troy Aikman said on the broadcast.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify this.
Okay.
He said that you told him that you're not 100%, but you're 100% when you're in the pocket. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I was more referring to the fact that the rust and the red jersey factor. I think that what happened a little bit was the season, Raheem was doing such a good job of stay away from the quarterback. He's got a red jersey all camp, not just for me, but for all the quarterbacks. And so we got this kind of false sense of, I got all this space, this is nice. And I think in the game, they don't, you're not getting that. And the telephone booth shrunk. And I think there was a little bit of a, I've got to get to where the rust is off and I'm more comfortable being used to that environment, since it has been since week 8 of last year. And so that's probably more what I was referring to. But, I do feel really good from the physical standpoint.
So that was a comfort thing, not
Yeah.
necessarily a health.
Yeah.
Got it.
Kind of going off of that, in the 2-minute offense on Monday for you guys, you were able to be clean, your offensive line.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome.
Fantastic.
Yes.
What can that do for them, and how have you seen them develop in the first 2 games?
Yeah, it wasn't just a 2-minute drive. I felt all game, the 4th and 3 that we went for it. I was able to kind of click through the progression and still had a very clean pocket as I threw to Ray. I found myself getting through progressions a couple times to the 4th, maybe even the 5th option. I mean, when you see Bijan getting the ball or Tyler getting the ball in the pass game, it's likely because protection was really sound, and that gave me the chance to click through. So, it makes a meaningful difference. From a guy we were just talking as a pocket passer, that makes a meaningful difference. And, we need that performance all year from them, and they're planning to deliver week in and week out.
Some of those blocks from Bijan were insane on Monday.
Yeah.
When you go back and you review that, as a quarterback, what are you thinking when you go back and see it?
We ask a lot of running backs. I've always said it's a tough job. They're there to run the football is really why you bring them in. But then they get here and you say, hey, you got to run routes, you got to pass protect, you got to have great eyes. And there's a lot more that goes into it. And it's a tough job. And the guy is coming right down your midline, and he's trying to drive you right back into the quarterback. And so your ability to, as we say, kind of stick your face on the guy, tight elbows, tight thumbs, and really anchor is difficult. But it many times happens in crunch time. It's 3rd down, it's critical plays, and both he and Tyler and all of our backs, and Coach Petrie coaches them well to be able to step up in those moments.
I know it's early, but how much can the confidence grow just from a win in week 2 to help you with now another huge matchup?
Yeah, momentum's a big part of football. I think it's a balance. I think I've seen people who have a game like Monday night and they start to think they're better than they are, and they lose their edge, and you don't build on it. And then I've seen people who kind of use a positive outcome and a resolve that we had and say we can build on that, and it creates some momentum. And so it can go both ways, and we're going to find out as we go. But I'd like to think that our group's going to, build on the resolve that we had and view the next opportunity as a chance to kind of keep stacking. But we got to go prove that.
Is there anything you do as a leader to make sure that happens throughout the week? Because we
Yeah.
were here earlier talking about how you challenge yourself. No one has to necessarily
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But do you kind of do that with your other teammates, especially so many young guys on this team?
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of you try to, whether directly or indirectly, make it very clear that this is not a hobby, and that this is, I'm very serious about this, and so you do try to communicate that, and I think the guys understand that already without saying it. But yeah, it's funny you bring that up with Raheem, because I said to him at the 2-point conversion that he went for, I kind of came off the field miffed, and I thought maybe he thought that I was mad he wanted to go for 2. And I said, hey, Coach, I wasn't mad at you. I was just mad at the play that we didn't get the 2 points. And he said, oh, no, I know. He goes, and I was just trying to to keep you positive, Kirk, because I know you're hard on yourself. And so he was like, it's funny how a head coach has to be like a psychologist and kind of treat everyone fairly, but not the same, And so with me, he's like, I don't have to, get on Kirk. He's going to get on himself. So it's funny when you hear how he's got to kind of be so aware of everybody,
How do you find that balance though of like being hard on yourself, but like not too hard on yourself?
Welcome to my life. Welcome to my life for the last like 20 years, right? So you have high standards. It's why you probably get to where you are, but you also have to understand that if you're not sleeping at night, like that's not a good thing. So let's find a balance here. That's where my wife comes in to say, hey, you got to let it go or whatever. So chase perfection, but you're never going to get perfection. And so you kind of have to find that balance. And I'm getting better. My wife would tell you I'm getting better, but it is what it is.
You mentioned that on Monday night that was a win that like really built character for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
With another primetime game, Super Bowl champions coming in, what does the prospect of that do in terms of like building character?
It's a great opportunity, and that's really all it is until you go make something of it. It's an opportunity, and look forward to that opportunity, but we got to go turn it into something.
One of the first things you told us in Philadelphia on Monday was that you wanted to be better. It's one of
Yes.
the things you said when you walked into the room.
Yeah.
So it's a fun plane ride home. There's a lot of young teammates, but are you sitting there going back and watching the game immediately and taking notes and
Yeah.
hey, how do I get
I was watching it on the plane, certainly, all cracking jokes with Jake Matthews and Drew Dahlman and Caden Ellis, who were sitting around me. We're kind of a combination, but I was watching and had my notes and thoughts, and there's just football's such a situational deal. So it was third down, it was red zone. It wasn't every play, and there were reasons maybe in third down or red zone that certain plays didn't turn out as well as I'd hoped, but those are some of the plays I want to be better at.
Falcons center Arthur Blank is being inducted to the Ring of
Yes.
Honor. Just, I know that you haven't been here obviously for a very long
Mhm,
time, but
mhm.
what does he mean, do you think, to this team and your interaction?
Yeah, I when I was coming to Atlanta, I read his book, which I really enjoyed. I felt like it enabled me to get to know him a little bit and where he's come from, faster than I otherwise would have been able to. And one of the many things I appreciated is, he understands the importance of leading from the group. So he comes into the locker room, every game before we go out in the field, not because he has to make his presence. He wants to know that the leader of the team is with the guys, is standing with them. And that's why he's come down to the sideline late in games, is because he wants to make it clear that I'm standing with you guys. And so, I think that's the right perspective to have. And I think he gets it. And my challenge to him was, I said, Mr. Blank, I want you to come down in a Falcons dry fit and stand with us by the water cooler, like really with us, like a TV timeout, like come out and hit us on the shoulder pads. I said, we would fight for you if you do that. So he said, well, he goes, I had a shoulder surgery a few years ago. He goes, I don't know. So before I'm done, I'm going to try to get him down there out of the suit and into a dry fit and hitting shoulder pads. We'll see if we can do it. But I think we got to win a few more games to get him there.
Zach said that you were texting him on the plane that like, oh, I'm watching this and I got to be better.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just curious, what do you feel are the next steps for this offense on Sunday?
Well, I think we've all got different part to play in it. When I look at myself, I think I can, in certain plays, be quicker with my reads. I think I can be more accurate in certain plays. I think I can, have just a little bit better base to be able to make some of the throws I need to make. But, I think we all have different parts we got to play, and I think the communication is important, that I'm telling him what I got to do better, that I'm telling him what I think our offense can do better, that I'm telling him what we did well, and that he's hearing it, and then vice versa, that I hear back from him on how he viewed the game. So the constant communication from player to coach, coach to player, and teammate to teammate is, I think, really important.
Are the voice memos longer after a win or after a loss?
They're more cheerful after a win. They're more direct probably after a loss. But I think that ongoing conversation is good. Just to keep talking and keep building a rapport. That's really what it's all about, is just building this rapport. And that was our first road win together, our first kind of rally together. And I'd like to, you want to be playing with people you say, we've done that 12 times. We've done that 15 times. This is old news. And it isn't. We're a new group together. And so we've got to build to that, and that's where we're headed.
Anything else?
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Kirk.